The opportunity to get a theatrical and a filmic experience in one go was such a blessing because most people just look at you cross-eyed and say it's an absurd idea, it's not going to work. I'm Michael Joseph McQuilkin, and I was the writer and director on The Infinite Hotel. Basically, we invited the audience to step inside this shape-shifting room as the extras in a film that was shot continuously. So it ran like a theater piece, like a play. The environment looked more like a soundstage, and the audience was sort of coached to step in and out of the action as the character of the public. It's a story about where inspiration comes from and where the sort of modern muse of creativity lives. And the way that we tell that story without launching ourselves into huge explanations of metaphysical concepts is through sound. We use sound as the thing that ties these people together across time and space.
It was a real challenge trying to serve both sides of the world because the acoustic environment for theater is not conducive for recording. Nicholas Pope, I'm a theatrical sound designer. I was the sound designer on Infinite Hotel. My job was mostly based around the live experience. But as part of that, it was a requirement for me to capture all the material for the film as well. And that had to be done all together in one chunk.
In a theater piece, you can accept the ambience of the environment that you're in. In a film piece, you really need to control the ambience. So we leaned very heavily on Nicholas, our sound designer, to solve problems that are just not really generally problems. We had to transform a large room into small sounding spaces, large sounding spaces, live music spaces, underground subways full of reflections. We had to completely change the way that the room functioned constantly.
We used Axient Digital on the show. One of the great things about both the Axient and the Axient Digital series is they have gone native Dante, and that provides a huge amount of flexibility. That gave us the opportunity to record the show in a full multi-tracked scenario, which meant that we could have access to every single individual microphone in the post-production phase. It also meant that I could take it and split it, and we actually used multiple processing signal paths so that I could create a sense of space. A large percentage of the sound effects in the show were all done live in a Foley setting. Foley can be a real challenge to mic. The quiet side of things is oftentimes the more difficult material to capture. And so having clean microphones is really key. So we used the KSM 44s on things that needed a little bit more low-end oomph to it. We also used VP82, which is short shotgun. I find that very useful in those kinds of situations because of the rejection quality. So you can use it in a little bit more dirty, noisy environment and still obtain those very small, tight sounds.
The TwinPlex lav mics that we used were incredibly surprising to me in the sense that sometimes we would have, like, an actor would bump a lav or something that happened would make a particular signal unusable. And more often than not, the TwinPlex mics were so responsive that we could use a scene partner's microphone.
We use them for a broad range of things in the theatrical environment. Because they are so small, we can hide them.
We were using them for dialogue mics, we were using them for guitar mics, acoustic guitar mics, we were using them for Foley mics a lot of the time. So we had Foley artists that were reinforcing a lot of what the action was. But in post, we were also able to use the lav mics to pick up the stage action, and it was incredibly detailed.
The micro body packs are great. My only concern with them is I'm never going to stop being able to get into actors now because they love the size of them. They're super easy to hide. As soon as a costume wardrobe person gets their hands on them, they want that body pack back again and again.
I didn't really hear the quality of what we were recording until post. When we got into post and I finally heard just the raw feed, I could literally go through every single channel and solo it to hear what we had recorded. I was just consistently blown away with the level of clarity in every single channel that we had. I mean, we had 50 microphones being recorded simultaneously and very complicated phase relationships, very complicated ambience. Just the flexibility was incredible. The digital signal was super clean. I was worried that the music would sound too live. We wanted a more close-up, punchy record sound, and we were able to get that with the live material.